You can support this show on patreon.com/wandering the aisles. That's patreon.com/wandering the aisles.
I guess that's kind of one little small element of successful relationships is how you catch what they're throwing. It's not only why they're throwing it, it's how you receive it.
Welcome to Wandering the Aisles. I'm Andy Farnsworth. These are impulse buys with commentary from Earth's most interesting regular people, happenings out in the world, spontaneous conversational films. I've been up all night. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a fresh show. I recorded this 2 hours ago. You're going to be hearing it 2 hours from now. I mean, I'm up when the insane couples are out walking. People who got married to one another. Maybe they weren't early morning walkers. I shouldn't assume. I feel like getting up first thing in the morning to walk together is like, it's either what you do after marriage counseling, or I guess that was your agreed upon situation when you first got together. I don't know. I just find there's something about couples out walking first thing in the morning. I just find it upsetting. I mean, I know it's a really good thing. It's what you do. You get going, get outside. There's just my first thought is, who do you think you are with somebody walking in the morning? I have no reason to be defensive about that other than probably fear that I am myself alone and not a morning person. I am a person in the morning. How are you doing? Are you a morning person? You probably are if you're hearing this right now. Or you're like me. You're a night person who had to deal with being a pumpkin all night and didn't turn back into a regular person. I wonder if that ever happened with the people that turned into a pumpkin. What a fairy tale that was. Who did it? Who turned into a pumpkin? A prince? Somebody. A cat? The glass slipper? That was Cinderella, right? I like to think of the person stuck as a pumpkin, though. Like for just like one day it worked most of the time. You became the pumpkin, just like clockwork at midnight. But then for some reason, some Monday, you got older and the pumpkin didn't turn back into a regular person. And you're just a pumpkin all day. Boy, wouldn't that be nerve-wracking? I mean, it's already tough enough to know you're going to turn into a pumpkin at midnight. But then just that one time, there's a little bit of a glitch in the spell, and then you're waking up still a pumpkin. And then it never happened again for years, but there's always that anxiety that maybe the next day, you're going to have to sit home and watch Judge Judy as a pumpkin. And dear God, if anyone walked in on that. Why is this pumpkin watching Judge Judy? Not why is there a pumpkin in the living room watching television, but why Judge Judy? I think that makes sense. Man, I find her a little abrasive. I mean, she's one of the richest people in television. Everybody, they just like her straight shooting demeanor. A lot of straight shooting in America today. Today's show is like an 18th century letter writing kind of thing. An audio correspondence, if you will, with the amazing Seth Cockfield, the super talented polymath, comedian, musician, writer, one of the smarter people I've ever met in my life. One of the people that makes me laugh in the way that I like myself when I'm laughing at that. I met him in Brooklyn. I'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But he's in LA now, and we weren't able to do a podcast when I was in Brooklyn with him. He's someone I keep in touch with pretty regularly, and because of the distance, because of the COVID, I couldn't do one with him. I was supposed to be on a tour this spring and had a couple shows in LA, and I wasn't able to do this with him. So we thought it would be interesting, rather than doing a phone thing or Zoom thing. God, I don't even like to say that word. It just makes your heart sink, doesn't it? Zoom. We came up with the idea of each of us just doing a recording on our own You get this. It's not that complicated. But I went first, did my meandering grievance sort of thing, talked myself into sanity at a Sprouts, and I just put up the show like it went down. A little bit of editing, just along some of the long pauses, but I kept it in order. And conversation is digressive. There's all these little rabbit holes, and as Lawrence Stern said, digression is the soul of wit. Should put a little reverb on that, huh? But yeah, I did my little babbling journey to get some low-carb ice cream bars. And then I sent it to Seth, and then he recorded his walking to a donut shop afternoon constitutional kind of thing that he does. Real briefly, well, we're past the real briefly part, aren't we? But to set this up, hopefully you're going to get a whole kind of picture of my friend here and see why he is an exceptional person. There's some of his stand-up here. There's a clip from his album, which is called I Still Worship Satan. You can find that on Spotify, if that isn't a hint that we share some religious background in the Church of Satan. I was a music leader at the Church of Satan, and he was a youth pastor, and that's how we met in Brooklyn. Okay, Andy, cut it with the sarcasm. What are you doing? There's joy in your heart. Share it with these people. There isn't any of his writing on the show, per se, other than you're really seeing how he works as a writer when you listen to him talk, which is always interesting to me. Some people are able to just talk in well-formed prose right out of the gate, and I find that quite admirable. Musically speaking, Seth is one half of the band The Friendships with Ryan County. I'll have more specific details at the end of the show. Their album is coming out this fall, hopefully September, but, and I think this is cool, they're going to go ahead and put their single out into the world via this show. It's called The Weekend, and that's coming out for real in August, actually. And a couple of the music beds in the show are instrumental mixes from that forthcoming album. So, oh fuck it, they're on IG at The Friendships Band. I also want to mention up front that the audio in Seth's part is a little dicey. We were just improvising here, so to make this experiment for you, for us. So it's not perfect, and I am a total audio OCD person, but I got so wrapped up in his monologue that I forgot about all the little digital artifacts, and there's some wind noise. And of course the mask, because he's being a responsible person. He's outside. Just to give you a little context, though, for Seth's part, well, first you're going to hear me. God, you've already heard me for fucking 20 minutes, so what are we going to... You're going to hear me... You're hearing me introduce me, first of all. But this is me introducing my letter. And then will come Seth. To give you a little context, he was bummed out. He was going to record it on Saturday, and he had some shit going on, and he's like, man, I don't know if I can do this today, which I totally relate to. And I was like, yeah, but sometimes, man, that's the best time to record. So from that perspective, I think it's really interesting to listen to this. One of my favorite things about people who are living out loud kind of people, comics writers, speakers of every stripe, I love hearing someone kind of talk themselves into just kind of find some equilibrium. And I think I heard that here today. I hope you understand what I'm saying there. Like he basically, he just didn't feel like it, and he did. Depression is very real. I am treated for it quite actively. I take medicine. I see a therapist. Got a new one, by the way. I can't say his name. But I know he's a good one because he was talking about therapy being a practice, like brushing your teeth. You do it every day. You never think, oh, someday I'll never have to brush my teeth again, which brought up the topic of death. And then we talked a little bit about whether or not you'd brush your teeth on the last day of your life. I don't know. What do you think? I think I would use... I was going to say I'd use like that kid's bubblegum toothpaste. You don't want your breath smelling like bubblegum in the casket. Anyway, it's me for the first half hour. And this has already been me for quite a bit. Then Seth for the second half. He is the closer. And just, what else do I say about this? I've done enough. I've introed this to death. Just let it go, Andy. Here, let's go. Let's just go. Let's get going. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Farnsworth. All right. Hello, Seth. I don't think I intend on addressing you directly this whole time, but I should say hi. I'm going to my truck. I'm going to Whole Foods. I think. You never know. I get in the truck and it tells me where it wants to go, which is usually for ice cream. I've never been an ice cream guy until this pandemic. And it's not even the good kind. It's like the low carb weird shit. That it's low carb because it's basically just butter. So I gotta put my seatbelt on. See, that's revealing. Not that I put my seatbelt on. I mean, every sane person puts their seatbelt on. But I just had a thought that, like, maybe a scenario in which I wouldn't put my seatbelt on would be if I had, like, cancer. I don't know. I wonder if I'd act differently. I'd probably be a much easier person to be around, to be honest. Because I'd just be like, all right, it's happening. The worst thing. And now if it's something's joyful, I can just enjoy it. I'm just getting right into it, philosophically. But I'm listening to, like, techno. I just like stuff with a beat. It's not about, like, musical. It's not even music. I actually, when someone says that it's not music, I don't disagree. It's more like it gives my mind like a pulse, so I can relax. That's why I like stuff with just a real mindless beat. Or I've got some disco blood in me. I don't know what that means. That sounds like an epithet. What do you got? Some disco blood in you, boy? I just passed a street called Texas, and that's right next to Connecticut Street. And now this is Mississippi. I am in Lakewood, Colorado. I feel maybe like I'm being a little too chatty. I don't think I'm trying to be clever. I feel comfortable talking to you. I don't think a lot of comics, I feel like I have to be on. Not with Seth, but we haven't talked for a while though, so I don't know. Maybe this isn't gonna strike you in the heart. Again, I said I wasn't gonna address you directly, Seth. I am going to the car wash. No, I'm passing the car wash. I got distracted because there was a really beautiful woman walking past the car wash, and there's just really not a lot of people my age out here. I'm looking forward to moving downtown, because it's a little bit lonely, in terms of, I don't know. How do people get together, Seth? How does it happen? It seems like it happens, and they stay together. It does happen. And I admire that about you guys. I'm getting in. That shit's none of my business. I should get out of that. But anyway, I'm passing a drive-through. It's called Burrito Express. Really clever name. But it used to be in a bank, it's in a place that used to be a bank, and so the drive-through is a bank drive-through, so it's strange. The bank turned into a burrito place. I kind of like it. Feeling I've been having a day where I'm realizing, like, that. Do you ever feel frustrated by the fact that there's just like a cap on your happiness, and you can feel it? Like you're putting you can feel your self-imposed governor on your own happiness. You know? Because it's like you can only be so happy because the other shoe's gonna drop. I guess that's the quickest way to say it. That analogy is a strange one too, because why? There's gotta be, I should Google it. It's probably got some racist history or something. But like, I always think of giants. Maybe it's from Jack and the Beanstalk. Like the giants are gonna drop a giant shoe on you. Which in that case, it would be questionable as if anybody could be joyful when there's a giant arbitrarily tossing shoes at you for no reason. Man, this is suburbia, Seth. It's, I'm just gonna go ahead and speak to you directly, fuck it. There's a train car, just a caboose, outside of this hardware store called The Caboose, just called Caboose. They dropped the. I might be a little low blood sugar right now, so that might be contributing to the feral nature of this digression upon digression. What, man? So you're out of grad school, or no, you got your degree, sorry, not grad school, but you got your writing degree now, right? So, I don't know. I'm glad you're doing this. It's kind of a aimless time, I think, after you graduate. Moment of silence for aimlessness. Guess that's what I'm doing. Oh, but joy. Yeah, so back to the joy thing. I've always known that I grew up with worriers, but it's causing me, it's finally causing me real suffering. Like, I'm realizing that it's suffering to not just be in a moment and enjoy myself, in the moment. Because there's always that. But I'm going to get a terrible text from someone I care about is dying. I'm passing the church, the Mile High Church. I know you grew up in church culture too. I don't think yours was evangelical. Mine was like Baptist and evangelical. This is like a Colorado church though, which is like probably got a brewery in it. It's a big dome. I think that it looks like they took over an old planetarium, which actually that's kind of cool. But I kind of wonder sometimes, like, if I would go back to church. I did a podcast a couple weeks ago with my cousin who's a Methodist minister, who's the kind of person I would go to his church. Pretty progressive, extremely compassionate, non-shamey kind of person. So I would go to his church probably, but probably a lot of it would be to meet women. And just because I like my cousin a lot and I'd like to see him do his thing, but... So I don't know. Would you go to church again? I have a feeling the answer is no, Seth. I have a feeling but I should let you answer. I shouldn't just decide what you're going to do. I'm near the Target and the Whole Foods. The Whole Foods is like 10 minutes to close. That's often a good time to record in a grocery store because the security is they're not really after you. I don't think they're really screening for podcasts right now. Like people recording podcasts, I don't think that's a huge priority for the crack squad of security personnel at Whole Foods. I am that guy though. 9 minutes in, and I got this big recording contraption here. So I kind of wish I was a not give a fuck guy. I'm trying to work on it. Are you? Do you? What's your give a fuck meter? Where are you at on that? I mean, honestly, because I give a fuck. I'm trying not to. I'm finding the right context for giving a fuck. But just like to do my thing. Like I want to do this podcast. I'm gonna record the side of this thing. Like we're talking about, and I'm gonna go in there. I'm putting my mask on, by the way, so it's gonna be muffled. But I'm gonna go in there and get some ice cream or some shit. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Sprouts. I don't think there's anything here. Oh, no, but Sprouts only has the smaller cases of seltzer. And I need to get seltzer. Shit. Fuck, what do I want, dude? I don't want to run in there. See, this is me, dude. I'm driving a truck that's like 12 miles to the gallon. And now I'm going to drive like 15 more minutes. Because I don't want to go in here 10 minutes till. This is the kind of shit that I could never live the life that I have right now with a person, I don't think. Like, the decision that I just made would have involved another person. Like, I thought you were going to go to Whole Foods, Andy. Why are you changing your mind? And I'd be like, what, you don't think I'm a man? Because I changed my mind? I mean, I don't think I'd find that person. I think I would find somebody who's, like, cooler than that, but I don't know. I still got some old school ideas, man. I gotta be honest, like, about masculinity. You know, I do. They're there. It's not that I love them, but I do have a lot of, like, I gotta be the protector. I can't change my mind a lot because that seems weak. Stuff like that. I just grew up with that. I don't usually say this, but like I often date girls who are like small, like short, 5'3", because I think there's a part of me, just deep primitive part of me, that just wants to be able to carry women around. Like if shit got bad, like I could wear them around like a backpack and get them out of the jungle for some reason. If we're in the jungle, it's just a size thing. Like too, I think I'm a closet alpha. I think a little bit. Like I think I'm kind of an alpha, but God bless me with this voice to keep my alpha in check. He gave me the inclination of an alpha, but the voice of a castrato, an Italian singer whose dick. What did they cut? Dude, did they cut people's dicks off so they could sing better? Is that a real thing? Did you know that? Have you heard of that? Castrato? Like monks they chop their cocks off, or no, not their balls. They got rid of their balls, so they could sing falsetto. For real, it's a real thing. I mean, awful, but what a commitment to music. Yeah, no, go ahead and take my balls. I wanna be able to sing in the upper registers for the rest of my life. All right, yeah, God damn it, I'm terrified now. I'm going into Sprouts with this tape recorder. I couldn't I have found I could have mic'd myself up and just done a better job of hiding it, but come on, dude. Andy, just do your thing. There's a store here called, I'm sorry if it seems like I'm doing bits. I'm a little nervous. I don't hear your side of it right now, so I don't know. But there's a store called Tuesday Morning. Do you know this one? I Googled it one time, like why they're called Tuesday Morning. But I can't remember, because my brain has gone back to, that's a dumb name. My brain forgot the fact behind the name and just has retreated back to dumb. Not Googling it again. But now I want to Google it again. Predatory loan place. Massage / marijuana. Sports recovery place. There's a lot of that here. There's a lot of weed stores. Obviously, people know that about Colorado. Farmhouse Thai Eatery. It's a Thai place called Farmhouse. That's compelling. That's interesting. Mattress Firm, the ever popular Mattress Firm, the very clever name that is a little bit of a pun, but a little bit kind of stupid because it does sound like it's only firm mattresses. There's a Five Guys. Why am I just naming? I'm just stalling right now because I don't want to go into Sprouts like this. I just fucking own it, Andy. I've done 17 minutes. I'm only going to do like 30 or 40. All right? I'm doing time. Don't give me the light, Seth, at 35. Could be just like a recorder that I'm carrying. But it's like someone could get that it's a note to self kind of situation. But it's a pretty big tape, like recorder. So I don't know. These kids, man, with their selfie sticks and their GoPros. I'll be honest. There's a cute girl that works here, and I'm kind of freaked out. I don't want her to see me like this. It's easier when I'm with another person. I'm less freaked out about it. So, getting a basket. I already went past the person who works here. Got a weird look. I just actually chickened out and put the tape recorder in the... It's not tape, but I put it in my basket. Now I'm talking into my basket, which looks even more psychotic. But nobody gives a shit here, Seth. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Andy at Sprouts. Not in a bad way, just... Alright, ice cream, here we go. Chocolate peanut butter. It's only 100 calories. Let's just get the sound of the freezer. Can you hear that? Now I gotta get something else. Can't just buy ice cream bars. Collagen protein, no. Do you take supplements? You don't seem like a supplement guy. There's something you got that you swear by. I mean, thank God for Bluetooth, though. People just think that it's all phone stuff if you're just talking out loud. And with the mask, nobody can fucking tell that I'm talking. Fuck, coconut macaroon almonds. God damn. That's a lot of carbs. Oh, I'm gonna get some fruit. I'm trying to eat fruit instead of candy now. And when you're on low carb fruit, it does taste like candy. Still talking into the basket, by the way. And some yellow peaches. The thing is, you still gotta squeeze the fruit, man. What's your policy on that? With the COVID? Do you exercise, dude? Do you smoke? What's your deal? I forget. Forget where you're at with that. I'm taking my mask off. Dude, this kind of feels like Tom Hanks talking to Wilson in that movie, the volleyball. Like, I can see just having a relationship with an inanimate thing that you think hears you, which is this recorder. You should talk about what you're working on, though. I would probably have you do that if you were on the show, like the regular kind. Maybe this will just be what I do now. Like, I'll record a part, and then the other person records a part. The audio, though, is tricky with that. You never know. You're a savvy person, technically, but not everybody. Not everybody is, Seth. I'm saying your name a lot, too. Seth. Isn't that annoying when people are like, so here's the thing, Seth. Let me just break it down for you, Seth. You know what? You know what I'm saying, Seth? It's like, dude, don't do your mind tricks on me with the names. I know your multi-level marketing bullshit. Yeah, just, I don't know, but happiness. That's where I was at. I'm scared to just... I do have a lot of reasons to feel joyful. I know everyone's got the general, like, terror of life right now, but I mean... This is a trend my whole life, no matter what, even despite there being a pandemic. That's just a general hum of fear and anxiety. But in general, I have joy. I'll get like 2 or 3 seconds, and I'm not talking about like relief, because I'll get like relief from jerking off or eating or whatever. That's like not joy. But although there is almond joy, it's I'm getting a little Jerry Seinfeld on you, buddy. Sorry. I didn't even share with you the whole thought process there, but you get it. You know where I'm going. It's a great thing about talking to comedians is they're like 5 steps ahead of you all the time. And you're 5 steps ahead of the other people, but it's hard to be 5 steps ahead of yourself. Like for me, I have trouble being objective about my own stuff sometimes. I remember seeing you in Brooklyn at Over the 8. I think that was the first place I saw you do stand-up. You're kind of one of the cool kids. You knew some people. I was like, oh, this guy knows people. He's funny. Like, I loved that bit about the blue clothes. Sometimes it's hard for comedians and writers to talk about each other's work out loud, because there's I don't know, for me it's always a little, it's fraught, you know, it's a little, it's like you both know, you kind of, I think if you're both funny or whatever, I don't know if you identify as a comic anymore, Seth. What's you're doing a lot of music now too, I know that, so, but there's a comic aspect to your music, though I wouldn't say it's like, it's not comedy music.
I'm the guy with the inline skates, skin tight outfit, wraparound shades. I won't lie, man, I have no shame. It sure beats playing with my balls all day.
Wait a minute, you're telling me 4 wheels on a poop is better than my Heelys? Oh please, I got my Jinko jeans with my chain wallet attached, cruising like I'm hovering.
Jinko jeans are a nasty dream. Pants are too big for the beach. Preach. If you're rocking Heelys, then get out of my way. Okay, some inline skates and we can get shit faced.
You know what? I like your passion, son. Plus the Jinko theme is judged on choose one. So I choose you to be my best friend, dude. Even though we feud over whose wheel choose is crude. And not to be rude, but you know the one wheel heel is a big deal when you wanna feel real chill with a tiny little itty bitty ounce of thrill.
Roller skating. So the first thing that you need to know is be a robot. Then what you need to do is absolutely lock your knees. That is the biggest, you will fall. So what you'll need to do is you need to get into a comfortable stance, make sure your knees are locked, and then you'll need to push off with whichever leg is your leg. It's quite simple, really.
I'm hopping from job to job, trying to make ends meet. I'm not the one you should hide, 'cause I am lazy. I just wanna lay about and create little worlds. Fuck around with my friends on the weekend. I'm hopping from job to job, trying to make ends meet. I'm not the one you should hide, 'cause I am lazy. I just wanna lay about and create little worlds. Fuck around with my friends on the weekend. I'm hopping from job to job, trying to make from job to job. I'm not the one you should hide, 'cause I am lazy. I just wanna lay out and just wanna lay around. Fuck around with my friends on the weekend. I'm the guy with the inline skates, skin tight outfit, rapper. Oh wait, we already did this.
I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm suffering because I want to... I mean, life is full of all kinds of terrible shit. So, like, when it does come, when something really good happens, it's a particular kind of hell when you can't enjoy it. Because you're like... You're just terrified of... It doesn't make any sense because... I mean, I guess it's a control thing. But for me, it's like real fucking anxiety, I think. Anxiety is a motherfucker. It's just a killer, man. It's like a bodily sensation. Like, I start to be happy, and I fucking pull back. And then I just expect to be punished by the world somehow. You know? Somehow I associate joy with, like, getting caught masturbating. Like, I'm enjoying it, and then the world comes in and tells me I just now, here comes the punishment. I know it's embarrassing to even say this shit, but and I'm not even trying to be clever. It's just that, like, kind of bipolar relationship to the world that was installed in me. It's still there. I'm still working on it, dude. I'm grateful for my life. I'm actually grateful having grown up the way I did. I'm grateful to have something to kind of form myself against, if you know what I mean. And I had legit spiritual experiences as a kid, I would say. I wouldn't write them all off. But I've like continued to seek outside of that framework, like Christian, the confining as fuck, hypocritical kind of American Christian framework that we both know and love. I don't want to speak for you. Why am I doing both? I'm sorry. I'm taking some liberties. Sun's going down, dude. It's dusk. I used to date this girl who said dusk made her horny. Like, not dust, but dusk. Like, she would be aroused at dusk. I don't know. It's just something just free associating here, buddy. I don't know if I'm lonely. I mean, this is kind of fun. Like, it feels like I have company. But maybe a little bit. It just feels like you're lucky if you're in a relationship because, maybe, I don't know, people take it for granted maybe that they have somebody to just, like, touch. And they don't have to vet them. It's your partner, you know? It's your buddy. And I'm sure it comes with a whole host of other things. It's been a while since I've had a relationship. I haven't had a long-term one for a long time. It's been a while. Trying to have confidence, dude. Trying to not be a dick, but trying to stay open, but not be so swayed by what other people think of me. Earlier today, there was this guy we were talking about. He was talking about how he lets shit affect him too much, and he said someone will make a comment about like my black V-neck. He had a black V-neck t-shirt on, and he'll like take it way too personally or whatever. And then of course I decided to tease him and be like, It looks great on you, the V-neck. I wouldn't wear it, but it looks good on you. Which was actually a joke my brother used to always do. That was one of my brother's favorite jokes, is he'd always say, it looks good on you. But that was like one of the few things my brother, he would tease, and it was like not terribly malicious. It was just like a saying he would do. Looks good on you, buddy. I miss him. Well, this has been good. I don't like saying goodbye, even in this sort of imaginary, removed sense. I'm excited that you're collaborating with me on this. Collaborating, a very grad school kind of word. Collaborate. All right, dude. This is going to end with a whimper, not a bang. Not so much a whimper, but... Ooh, like, why would someone whimper? That's another. I gotta look up the other shoe dropping expression and the bang, end with a bang, not a whimper expression. Because how would something end with a whimper? Don't end with crying? It's like some old Broadway play advice? I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm excited to hear your side of this thing. Alright, see ya.
Word came too soon. I hope that I would have another day or two with you. You're only in my mind. Another day or two with you would be fine. On a hill overlooking the bay, Yellow flowers in the sun on your face. Tickle of laughter caught you by surprise. And the sky changed color to match the look in your eyes. Seeing roll a blanket of mist, blending edges like our lips when we kiss. Walk you home, your hand in mine, our heads in the clouds and forgotten by all time. Word came too soon. I hoped that I would have another day or two with you. If only in my mind, another day or two with you would be fine.
Test 1 2 1 2. Hi Andy, how are you? I'm leaving my apartment right now. Probably pretty obvious. I really appreciate you sending me that this I guess monologue. If my voice is muffled, it's because I'm wearing a mask. But it kind of acts also as a windscreen, so I think that might be maybe a good thing. It's about 3:36 p.m. Pacific time, Pacific Standard Time. I'm in East Hollywood. I don't know if that's really a place, East Hollywood. I guess there's a West Hollywood, it's pretty well known. There must be an East Hollywood. And so I'm walking to go get a donut. And so you asked me about how do people meet and your experience with partners, with relationships, and you don't know how people meet. I don't really know. So I'll go ahead and tell your listeners, first of all, hi, I'm Seth Cockfield. I'm a friend of Andy's. Big fan of Andy's as well. So, not that is why I'm on the show. Andy asked me to do the show, and I'm happy to, anytime. So, I met my partner, Megan. We met in 2009. Should be about 11 years ago now, almost. And we've been together almost the whole time since. But I don't think my relationship is very typical. And I don't understand people who, well, it's not that I don't understand people who write about relationships as if they know how to help people be better partners. It's really hard, man. It's really hard to think about because, like, I think I do a lot of things right, but I know I do a lot of things wrong. And giving out any advice is it's like I wear a small in t-shirts and shirts and stuff. I wear an S, and I've worn an S all my life. And I like how the S feels on my body. It fits. I don't look ridiculous. I don't look like anything over an S. It looks like I'm wearing, borrowed clothes. Maybe I fell in a pool at a friend's house or something, So I wear an S and it fits me, but I'm not going to go around recommending everyone wears an S. So, how people survive relationships, I think, ultimately comes down to, what helped form their worldview, and is there room in that worldview for healthy relationships with other people, or is it something you have to figure out on the fly because maintaining interest and attention and investment emotionally and otherwise in the same person forever, or even, for any amount of time, you got to be built to either do that or to have room in your emotional psyche to want to do that. Anytime you find yourself, you feel like you're begrudgingly making room for someone else in your life, and somebody in a white van just took a quick left down Edgemont and just peeled out for no reason. Anyway, I don't know how people stay together, Andy. Sacrifice. Check your ego every single day. Have a shared calendar so you don't forget what their life is like. There's a lot of people, I think, who expect they grow up and people just, tell them how their day went without them asking. Because they grew up with narcissists, I guess. I don't know, people that are just like, that's how they start a conversation. Well, my day went like shit. And then there's people that, are engineered, trained to ask about other people's day. I kind of fall into the former category. Unfortunately, I had to unlearn how to just not enter a room and just start talking about myself. And another thing I really had to learn was how to ask at the end of talking about myself, if that was what I was going to do, to ask the person I'm talking to, how are they? Because I didn't know what a conversation was. So you got to know what a conversation is and the value of it. And conversation's like the cat toy that keeps the relationship occupied and stimulated, busy. And without the cat toy, it's just the boredom, and boredom begets frustration, and it's not super easy, I guess. It doesn't feel easy, but I like the relationship I'm in. Wouldn't trade it in for anything. So, but that's only because you got to know yourself and you got to know the other person. It's not a time thing. It's a quality thing. You can't be like, you got to set out. This relationship is going to take. I'm gonna put more time into it. No, it's attitude. It's attitude. It's not time. It's not something that, wow, the relationship's amazing. You guys have been together for like 20 years. Well, you haven't been happy one of those days, but we made a blood pact to stay together this long. Really wish we didn't. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Or any idea. I don't want you to take any data away from the fact that I've been with someone for as long as I have. Because, my mom and dad, I don't know how happy they were. They were together for 5 decades or so. My dad passed, but But yeah, it's one of those old school marriages, you got to marry because that's what people did. And they had 11 kids. Catholic. And you said you went to, you'd mentioned your religious upbringing, and it sounds similar to the gauntlet that I was put through. Baptist and evangelical. Yeah, my parents were charismatic Catholics. They were basically Catholic plus. They rubbed elbows with Pentecostals. And, they went to Victory Fellowship every once in a while. They'd like get together with people who weren't Catholic, who were like uber fundamentalist, speaking in tongues type. And yeah, man, there's a whole world that always spooked the hell out of me, and it was really confusing. It's like, if you're going to be religious, pick a religion. I think it's important to pick a religion, stay within the dogma of that religion, make it absolutely obvious that that's the lifestyle. I went to a Catholic school and I went to Catholic Mass every Sunday, but my parents kind of led a different life. They were very active in the church, but they were active in other churches too, and they acted more, on a personal basis, they acted more like the non-Catholics they hung out with than any of the chill, pious Catholics that that you're depicted on TV, these East Coast Catholics, like Joe Biden, you know what I mean? Like, the Joe Bidens don't exist in my Catholic world. All the old white men in the Catholic community that I grew up with are authoritarian and very imposing, hyper-masculine, insecure, racist. I got some goofy beliefs, super goofy beliefs. I just arrived Big Jim's Donuts, so I'm going to go in and buy a donut here. Hi. I'm good, how are you? May I have, I'll have a coconut donut, please. One coconut donut. Uh-huh. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Okay, Andy, I got my coconut donut. I'll go ahead and walk around a little bit more. So yeah, I grew up in a really weird religious community, and it's very oppressive and confusing. And I think confusion is the worst kind of child rearing. My parents had 11 kids. I'm the 11th kid, right? And I came late, so my mom had 10, right? And then 5 years passed, and then I kind of rounded it out, so to speak. So, but not rounded out. I'm 11. There's nothing smooth or round-edged about 11. I don't understand. Here's the burden that I feel like I've shouldered all my life. I don't understand what the fuck I'm doing here, but in a less broadly existential way, in a more kind of micro-existential, like not why are we here, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of my life? Why am I here? Like, I don't understand the context from which I come from. Like, I don't have time to entertain broad philosophical questions like, why are we here? Because I still haven't, on my own terms, I still haven't even accepted the fact that I'm here. It's almost, I don't approve of my own ridiculous existence because there's no logic behind it. I've asked my mom why she had me multiple times, and I never really get the same answer. She once said that, well, when she was 13 or 9 or something, she was very young, she made a pact with God that she was going to have 11 children. Which seems reverse engineered. It seems like the kind of thing you would say after you have 11 kids, when people start asking questions like why. When the 11th kid starts asking a question like why. She once told me that she had me, well, a little bit more context is after the 10th kid, my older brother, Noah, there was a miscarriage. It's very tragic. And I mourn that kid's loss because he probably would have had a better go at it. Like that guy, his guy, we knew his little boy. And my mom said she was going to name him something ridiculous like Hezekiah. So I think he heard that. He maybe have overheard that, and he was like, I don't need this. I don't need that kind of name. What did I do? So he just kind of, he had to change shit up. He called an audible. So then I was assigned to replace, and the name Seth apparently means chosen. But my mom didn't use that word when she told me. She was thinking in her head that I was chosen to replace Hezekiah, and so she told me that my name meant, in Hebrew, it meant replacement. That's that is. I was like, oh, I'm a backup part. I'm a replacement part. I really want to eat this donut. Come on. Hold steady till I get home. I'll walk around with this donut and cherish it. Think about what it's going to taste like. This is what I swear by, Andy. See, it's gotten to the point now when I leave the house and I tell my partner that I'm going for a walk. She knows that it's more than just a walk. She knows that I'm going to walk to either Michelle's Donuts or Big Jim's Donuts. I'm going to walk to the donut shop, buy one single donut, sometimes a small black coffee. And these donut shops are equidistant from my apartment, so I can pick either one. It doesn't matter. The walk is the same. And I go there and I walk. Sometimes I eat it there. Nowadays, I don't eat it there, of course. And they're very humbling places. It's really kind of... It's the donut shop to me, something I've always held pretty sacred. And donut shops went away completely. I think that'd be just a really terrible loss. Because every city I've ever lived in, and nowadays that's, New Orleans, Austin, Texas, New York City, Brooklyn, New York, I should say, and now Los Angeles. Donuts have meant a lot to that community. Donuts mean a lot to America. Homer Simpson's favorite food. And they really are. It's what I believe in. It's what I stand for. This is my patriotism. It's my service. As I walk a mile, not every day, but almost every day, a mile in total, no matter how hot it is, and it's hot today, even on cold days, and LA has their share of cold days. I go and I get the donut, and they're always really nice. I get a lot of thinking done on this walk. When I walk, I go and get a donut, I eat the donut. The donut, actually, the dopamine rush I get from not just eating the donut, because I'll sidetrack here. Megan the other day came home and brought me a bag of donut holes. And she said, you don't have to go for a walk today. And I never get donut holes. And I didn't get mad. I was really appreciative. I was like, oh my God, it's really sweet that she brought me, that she knows me so well, you know. But I don't look at the walk as a chore. It's a treat. I recently quit Facebook, so I'm trying to get some more like analog, organic dopamine going. And I know it seems kind of childish and artificial to walk halfway to another neighborhood, buy a donut, and calling it meditative. But I guess it's like my trance music, you know. And I mean, trance is music, and I totally get. There's no shame in having disco in your blood, Andy. If that's a thing, then my blood might be 100%, you know, Donna Summer disco. So, and I hope that's not a bad thing. It doesn't. If you really actually feels like kind of the best part about me maybe is the disco in my blood, and it's what gets me out to go get a donut. You asked about my blog. I hit a wall. People with masks on, holes under their nose. I'll never understand them. What are you signifying? The blog, I hit a wall, man. It's there. I could revive it anytime I want. I appreciate your interest in it. I'm still interested in it. I'm still figuring out where exactly I can go with it. I always create in spurts. And then my brain wants to do something completely different. I have this really inconsistent pattern of creativity. Consistently inconsistent. LA is kind of very permissive of that. It's such a vast landscape of disparate artists and performers. It's like there's this grand assumption that everybody is working at their own pace. Some people faster than others, of course. But it's like there's no pretense to make it right now, or make it in. You know, it's like, oh, I moved to LA so you can just be closer to the possibility of success. Geographically closer. People say you gotta live in LA for this job. The catch is you have to live in LA. So, I live in LA because, you know, my partner got into UCLA. So we moved here. And in New York, it's different. You gotta make it look like you're making it right now, no matter what you're doing. There's less patience. On either spectrum, there's like, you get what you put in. And, you know, with COVID, it's like, I haven't done stand-up comedy in months. And I'm not about to get on some Zoom show. I feel like I sound like an old man saying that, but I don't think that is in my happiness spectrum. I don't think doing that is necessary at all for my happiness. And I totally know what you mean, man, with the self-governing happiness cap. The guilt, the happiness guilt. It's not a totally bad thing to have happiness guilt, of course. bad habit. I hope it's not a bad thing. I used to feel guilty about these donuts when my partner caught on that I was taking a walk to get a donut. I had my ears peeled back. I was like a shamed dog. And they were like, "Oh no, it's cool. It's just I noticed every time you went for a walk, you would get a donut." So it wasn't some declared thing where it's like I am going to go on this donut quest every few days. She just noticed I was doing it. And then instead of taking it personally and getting defensive about it, I was just like, "Oh, totally, yeah. Very perceptive. You're absolutely right. That is me. That's me all day. Going to get a donut." So I guess that's kind of one little small element of successful relationships is how you catch what they're throwing you. It's not only why they're throwing it, it's how you receive it. Gotta have a strong equanimity muscle to make a relationship last if that's what you're trying to do. It's not just that. And again, I'm trying to get out of advice. It's not something I think about all the time. Do I identify as a comedian? No. Yes and no. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's say yes. But what does that mean? What's the perception that people are allowed to have once I say that? Like, what's the expectations on my end for identifying as a comedian? I don't know. It's just easy in these contexts to just introduce me as a comedian. But listeners, if you're listening, I almost never do stand-up. And if you want to understand why, you should watch Gary Goldman's The Great Depression. Gary Goldman is my hero, if I have one. Great Depression is an amazing documentary, and it's very real. And it just really peels back the curtain on a lot of stuff.
I also like to go thrift store shopping. I've been thrift store shopping all over Austin. I love it, but I do not like it when places sort everything by color. Can I get an amen? No, none of you agree with me because you all get it for some reason, but not me. I wear one size, diminutive. That's it. You don't have it, I gotta go. Why do they do it? Why do they start doing that? Do they really get a bunch of people coming into their shop being like, "Excuse me, where are your blue clothes?" Well, what size? What size? Size blue. You fucking sizist. And where's your yellow shit? I got a date tonight, all right? This is a big night for old big boy right here. I need to be my yellowest in 2 hours. Can you help me or not? You're gonna make me crawl around this store looking for blue like a caveman?
There's so many comedians in the world, and there honestly aren't enough great ones, in my opinion. Of course, it's subjective. I do exercise. I do push-ups. That's pretty much all I do. I walk a lot, and I do push-ups. I smoke weed. So no, I don't take supplements. I eat donuts. I talk to my cats. That's been a revelation. My cats. I got 2 kittens last week. Never owned my own kittens before. I don't own them. I should stop using that terminology. I don't own anything, to be honest. These cats, I talk to them. I think they're friends with me. They're brother and sister. They're about 3.5 months old. They're just the sweetest thing. Really cool, really curious, very friendly. I don't know how long they're going to be like that. But Andy, I really appreciate it. Thank you to your listeners for enduring this conversation between two pretty damaged guys. Pretty damaged, but I want to say one more thing. My nickname was Caboose. Being the last of 11, my nickname was Caboose. I was the baby of the family, and I was the caboose. And my mom used to, she would call me Caboose. She would call me in the room as Caboose. So I never forgot my place in life. Last. So that's where I'm at, blood. All right. Love you, guys. Thanks, friends. Talk to you soon. Happy COVID. Peace.
That's the show. Seth Cockfield, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to say, Seth, you might be the caboose, but there's only one caboose in the train. And it's the closer of the train, by the way. The headliner. I feel like more than any other podcast I've ever done, listening to him provided me that experience of what it might be like to listen to my own podcast, if I didn't know it was my podcast. Or at least I thought as I was listening to his recording for the first time that I hope that's the case for other people. I hope you get to hear it the way I heard him. You can find Seth on IG at Seth in the City. Seth in the City. All of his stuff is on SethCockfield.com. That's COCKFIELD. You know how to spell .com. And you know how to spell Seth. He's got a blog called Cheese Peterson, which is pretty great. The Friendships, his band, his collaboration with Ryan County is at The Friendships Band, SoundCloud / The Friendships. You can find their stuff. Ryan County is at Ryam County. So RYAM as in Mary, COWNIE. Again, that single called Weekend is coming out in August, and the album is coming in September. Patreon.com / Wandering the Isles. You can do a $5, or $10, or $25 subscription to the show. Help support this thing that I hope keeps you company, makes you feel good. Makes you feel. And speaking of that, thanks for being patient with me. You know why, if you read my Facebook post. I miss my brother. He was something, man. Love you, Jeff. Music this week by Aaron Campbell, Future Sequence, and of course, The Friendships. You can review us on iTunes if you can't donate, or just for kicks. That helps a ton. If you are a troll, feel free, but please leave your info. I'd love to get into it with you, because I got some fight in me. Don't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want the trauma of... I've had pretty good reviews so far. Alright, why did I even put that idea in your head? Go out and plant something if you're in your parents' basement. That'll help you feel better. I'm on Instagram at Bambi Fransworth and also at Wandering Isles. That's the show's handle. Then, of course, wanderingtheisles.com. My voice is a little crackly. Seth inspired me to go get a donut this morning. And I just ate it. Man, I gotta say, yeah, there is a dopamine rush from a donut. Like, you get high off a donut. And I had a coconut one, and I took my life into my hands, man. I don't know why I did it. The guy didn't have on gloves. Just didn't seem to care. And yet I still ate the donuts. Plural. I got one left. Alright, there's a guy coming with a weed eater. So I better wrap this up. I'll see you next week. Love you guys. Miss you. It's not forever. It seems like it. It's not forever. It just can't be. Nothing is. Not even the pumpkin.